and then the day that was our day to see why am I? And you have one thing, and you have a new answer. And you to me, you could think. More pro, no one from that sense. So, like I said, I ain't done in the Sunday and then my baby and save us some more. A show of more pro, so but from it. And the day the event, maybe to be in their mind that they also non passing answer. So we do an in our account that I know we do that same field. And the way young mom, I'm raising a day. So for a day of a sample, a prayer and also for so the kind of home, but don't me answer in India with me. I share a chin employee in the Yarata. When you short over is a piece speaking in your company. Amen.
But they said you're going
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Alright, so thank God for yet another Sunday, another Lord's Day, for us to meet and for us to worship, learn, and grow. Just so we are aware, there is going to be some changes in how we handle the microphone. We were alerted to some of the potential challenges we have. So yes, you would be required to ask questions using the microphone, but somebody else may be handling. I don't know what the arrangement is. Just so may sanitize it in Santa. So that's what's going to be this morning. Again, we may have to. Last week we were accosted and community wasn't taking over time. They would finish earlier than usual. So, okay. So we are still on the Christian home, and a lot has been said up till now, and I've been asked to take some time to, do a summary of some of the previous things that we have done in your absence. That will be after maybe today or next week. But for those of you who missed out on the beginning and other things, there will be an opportunity for a recap or a summary, so we get the full extent. Again, the secretaries are working very hard to put all the lessons on YouTube, so that even after here, when you think you are thinking about getting married and all that, and you want to go back, there will be that opportunity for you. All right, so last week, I think we ended the portion on the portrait of the wife of the Christian home, the kind of wife that will be able to create the Christian home. And we started a bit on the role of the wife of the Christian home, or the wife in a Christian home. But before we proceed any further, as usual, let's do some quick recap. Zakode, you usually begin the process. What do you Zakode is here. Well, it's good. It's good you keep these lessons. You never know. You are not supposed to, okay. So you sanitize your hand before you handle. That's good. When you're also coming to 1 feet a time, you won't. Alright, Zakode.
Okay, so we said that the Christian wife shouldn't be focused and tied on external appearance or something like that, because we got to learn that one will fade away gradually. But if she's able to focus on the inner beauty instead of the outer one, that one it's going to be eternal and it's going to carry her to places rather than focusing on the external. So she shouldn't be the slave queen.
Yes.
So that's what
All right, thank you. So that's what we said. Unlike a slave queen, the wife of the Christian home, that's not, this thing is not working. Okay, so it will take a drop. Yes, this is the point we are talking about. Unlike slave queens, she must prefer the adornment of the heart. So, I think he virtually said everything. There is need for an interpreter here. Ladies and gentlemen, for the ladies, whether you like it or yes, whatever physical features you have over time would, as we said, would fade. And we talked about two principal things. Your skin would not be as tight as it is now, right? The elasticity, whatever that is. Elasticity. Yes. Over time, like you begin to see wrinkles, right? It will not be as firm, as rounded as you have it now. Frank does it. Huh? Diminishing marginal returns. You may put some inputs, but you will not get the outcome that you got in the past, right? So the wise woman would rather adorn the heart, the unseen, the untouched part, that has a longer longevity. Whether that is a good expression, a longer longevity. It's durable. And when you have a pretty heart and you are aging, it doesn't take anything away from the kind of person you become. Like wine, you become better with time. But if all you know, all you have is your physique, now we are better. A double jeopardy. The physical part is going away. The attitude too is more young. So let us be careful what we spend time on, what you spend time enhancing. Enhance the one that would stay with time. All right. What else? What else? Yes, you have also taken these lessons very seriously. That's cool.
Okay, last week we also learned the role of a wife in a Christian home. We learned that the wife is the helpmeet of the husband. And we realized that helpmeet is not an inferior role. We read in Psalm 46 that God is our refuge and our strength and a very present help in trouble. So if God is the help of man, then that role is not an inferior one.
Yes. And I want you, ladies, put it here, especially, I don't know whether it's for the men or for the females. Huh? Both. In equal measure. Don't think that the fact that she's your helpmeet makes her inferior. She's not. She can never be. If your helper is inferior, then you're inferior yourself. Right? Because she must give you the help that you require in order to become the person that you need to be. And if you became the person you need to be, then it means the help you got was the right one. And if the help is the right one, then the source is not inferior. True or false? I can't say maybe right. So God helps us, and that does not make him inferior to us. And so when a woman chooses to help a man, it doesn't mean she's inferior. In fact, she has to be smart to be able to do that. And so for the female, don't think that is an inferior position. For the male, don't think that is an inferior position as well. So we should accord them the kind of respect that is due. What else? Yes. There's a man I come. I want to know. Hey. This one, right. Isaac, what happened to the lapel mark? Or in an idiocy?
Okay, still on the rules. The woman must set a good foundation upon which the family and the church depend. Where we base this on Proverbs 12 chapter 4, where it said, the virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. And I ask, who make it shameless as rotless in this bone?
All right, that's good. So let's start from there. Maybe it's the battery. Okay, you next slide. Not you. Go on to the next one. Yes, it's okay. The Christian wife provides the foundation upon which the success of the home, society, and the church, and not the leadership of the male man, is achieved. And this is the passage we ended with last week. So let's read the passage, and I hope all of us remember the excellent idea and explanation Brother Bedu gave. Let's read that passage. And I want a female to read. Obabi anyhow. Obabi anyhow. Oba wa haya, that's right.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4. A wife of noble character is a husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones.
Amen. It says a wife of noble character is what?
Her husband's crown.
Is her husband's crown. So we understood what it meant. You get it? Whatever the husband will be able to achieve, accomplish, become or what depends on that woman. And the reverse is also true, as Brother Bedu said. A disgraceful wife is like what? Huh? Like decay in the bones, right? And I don't want to repeat it. He says that a decay in your bone, which means, how do you find decay in your bone? You'll be struggling, but nobody would what? Notice. And when the wife is a pain in the neck, not fine. You know, some men, they have a huge house, big cars, but they cannot go home. Why? Simple to feed. There's a tiger in the house. And so it's hard for you for the man to be happy in the house and all that. And he says that the bone is what the muscles rely on, right? And so if your bone is decaying, then what kind of muscle would you become? What kind of husband would you be? What kind of accomplishment would happen in your life? Nothing. So, most of us choose spouses like we choose what? Huh? Mr. Ajima, I'm trying to find. I never know you choose it like just like that. Huh? And then you busy obi adu afukwa. Ade officer woni say etuja wa this on 10 years. That's how most of us choose spouses. Oba level 100, obi a chair no call maths. They have we call maths. Obi a chair no Afro stats man ne pass here. Wow. Obi so we a candidate for help. Once obi ne nante back sorry. It's nante anymore. Huh? Young apostle. Oh, nante. I think we have to now begin to, and for both males and females, you must be very careful that the person you say yes to, because she's either going to be your crown or cause your bones to rot. The same everywhere. Those of you, oh, I love you. Say, Muna Papa. When your bone is rotting, those that love is an emotion. Love is not an emotion, I know. It's a decision. But if your choice of a mate is not based on careful considerations, smart considerations, what is that? Time I would date to see another that Akuma yesterday. What's happening now? Be very careful. Let us be very careful. Don't choose a spouse the way you choose your underwear. Be very careful. There's more to it. Alright. Let's move on. Now, hold on. So like the Proverbs 31 woman, the wife in the Christian home must. And so now, let's go to Proverbs 31. As I told you, and I don't know whether I should say this or not. I said it last week. You know, the whole book of Proverbs, it's made up of instructions, advice, and all those things. You'd also find out that wisdom is personified. And it is personified as a woman. So you don't know whether, the author or God is trying to tell us that the woman is the wisdom that a man needs to succeed, or what? Or whether women are wiser than men, we don't know. But in chapter 31, specifically verse 10 following, wisdom is also personified as a wife. Alright? And we are told what the wise wife is able to do in the home. And so that is going to form the outline for what we are going to discuss. And so whether you think that the wife here is metaphorical or something that is literal, it depends on you. Some scholars think that Proverbs 31, verse 10 following, was a checklist that was given to men who were getting ready to marry to look and check off their potential suitors. So this orientation suggested that we could take this text in its literal form, that the things being said were being said about a tangible wife. I want you to be aware of all these interpretational nuances. Okay? I was going to say something, but if you with you. Okay, again, verse 10 to the last verse is an acrostic poem. When we say something is an acrostic, each verse follows the alphabet in the Hebrew text. Aleph, Beth. So it's the Hebrew alphabet is about 22. And so every verse follows that. It's like letter A, the sound is letter B. So verse 10 to the last one is an acrostic. You don't need it for anything, but just information sharing. Okay? Sometimes we take a text and we are not aware of anything about it. But these are things to help you appreciate what is in Proverbs 31. And it will interest you to know that in the same chapter, it is the mother of the king advising him. So whatever we are going to read is from a woman advising his son, who is a king, to know what to look for in a wife. So, with that said, you can choose to ignore it or pay attention to it, like any other text in scripture. Actually, on our way home. We school now, I am daddy baby. Alright, so let's go to the first verse 10. What is there? Yes, you are reading now, the only female among us.
Proverbs chapter 31.
Verse 10. Hold on. Let me also turn so that what the meaning and baby are. Alright, you can go on.
A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband...
No, hold on. Let's take one verse at a time. So take it again.
A wife of noble character who can find?
A wife of noble character who can find? Which means the wife that is able to create a Christian home must be of noble character. Why? Oh, why don't you wait? Hey, I see. Go back. Yes. The wife of noble character who can find? And I'm trying to suggest to us that the wife must be of noble character so that she can become the standard for moral formation in the home. Now, if you want anybody to raise your kids between a noble woman and a reckless woman, who would you think is, and you know, this is also a personification of wisdom, right? Wisdom is noble. And so if a wife is wise, and you are lucky to find her in your home, how do you think your kids would turn out? And you yourself as the man. Huh? Do you understand? Do you understand? Huh. So, if wisdom is what is needed to train people, to form people into the nature of Christ and of God, and for them to walk on the path that God has, God desires, a wife in the home must be of noble what? Character. Excellent character. And we find an example, so it's not far-fetched. Pastors, you are going back. In Ruth, chapter 3, verse 11, I think we have read about the story of Ruth, right? Do you remember? Ruth and Naomi, right? One of the daughters-in-law of Naomi, who, even though she was given the opportunity to leave her matrimonial household to begin life for herself after the death of her husband, out of a sense of loyalty, she decided to stay on with Naomi. And Naomi was trying to find a husband for her. And I don't want to say orchestrated, to get Boaz to eventually marry her. And based on the behavior of Ruth, in relation to how she connected herself with Boaz, in verse 11 of chapter 3, Boaz was able to make this open declaration that among all the women he has come into contact with, Naomi was an excellent woman. And so when you have an excellent, noble wife in the home, she becomes the foundation of formation in the home. What if you have a woman of reckless character in the home? Huh? So, another question to consider is this. What kind of woman are you shaping up to become? Are you excellent now? Will you become excellent later? Or excellence is something that is not in your DNA? Which is which? This is a Bible class. The way I want to answer, it's your net from you, Any feedback? Or you are thinking about it? Frank, you want to say something? You are not a woman. Huh? Boy, is it? I don't care if you go as a woman. Or boy. If you are in the lungs now, you move it. So, the woman of the home, the wife of the house, she must be of excellent character. So, try not to make me point to answer. So she may have the bust, the boobs, or the what? The butt. Whether this butt or another butt. But, you know, you don't form character with boobs, do you? Huh? Nancy Kase, who need you? We don't form character with these physical features, do you? All you can do is take pictures and dress with them. And I'm not saying they are not important though. Sometimes the wife you have will determine the stairs you get when you step out. Having an attractive wife has its place, but it doesn't put food on the table and it doesn't buy a pillow. I'm saying that metaphorically. You understand what I mean? It doesn't buy a pillow.
No.
You don't.
No.
It may not give you sound sleep at night. So, guys, we seem to have I don't know whether it's a strength or a weakness. We are moved by the things we see. You see, character is not bouncy. Character doesn't shake for you to see. Does it? Will it? So, look for a woman with an excellent character, a noble wife, just like wisdom. And then you can dream of the Christian home that you love. Welcome. And long time. Martin. The deaf has a reason talk. Just assemble her. So she has a reason talk with me. That's fine. Anybody here before we move on? A wife of noble character. Yes. Melky. Sanitize your hand.
Okay. Case scenario.
Okay. Somebody wants a customized chair. So go on.
In a situation where the man is supposed to be making
There is no conference going on here. So you write the note and let us know what's the content. Go on.
In a situation where a man is supposed to take a decision, but for some reasons he's scared.
Scared?
Yes. Maybe it wouldn't be evident. But if you look at it from a different perspective, you see that he's not taking a decision as a result of fear. But maybe not taking this decision is going to affect the family at large, maybe for long term. How does the wife position herself? A wife who has no character, who is excellent, positions herself and then forces the husband to make their decision without compromising her character.
Well, May, is this, because you are the wife, I am not the wife. Another wife, yes, Dorcas. Did you hear the question? What's the answer? One guy, yes, no. Huh? So, Mrs. Cecilia.
I remember you told us to use our charm, the charm that we have, in a positive way.
In a positive way.
Yes. So, if that woman, I don't know whether all you said all men have the charm.
Yes, in varying degree and
So
extent.
in this situation, the woman can use the charm. Knowing
Don't you think in this instance you use wisdom more than your charm?
And the charm too is part of wisdom too is part of your charm.
Wisdom too is part of your charm.
So you have to know the kind of man you are dealing with, his needs, and when and how and then where to use these charms on the person to get whatever you want him to do. And if you are a woman of noble character, there is no way the man won't succumb to whatever you
Succumb,
do.
that's the word.
There is no way.
There is no way.
Yeah.
What? Just to add up to my noble wife. It's making decisions are not the easiest things for men to do. And so usually when they trust their wives, they begin to bounce ideas off them. So some will say Han, some will say Adwa, like myself. What do you think about this? Okay, so this is an invitation to the wife to share wisdom, to bring a different perspective that the husband is not considering. And so when the wife is able to give him different sides of the issue, whatever fears that he may have had from the beginning will be not totally, but gradually he'll be gaining some understanding, some appreciation, so that he begins to tilt towards making a better decision. So how would a woman of noble character help a husband decide? By offering perspective, ideas, suggestions. You get it? For example, my wife is a maths and econs graduate. And if you know me, if you knew me, that is the areas that I don't have any, you get it? And so making those decisions could be difficult. So then you ask, what would you do in such a situation? Then giving her life experience, her natural wisdom and academic knowledge, she would offer. And usually in her interaction with people, her mother, her father, people in her life, she may have come across similar situations and circumstances to share with you. And so that helps you make that decision out of a certain level of confidence and not fear. But if you thought that nothing will use easy, I should be able to make this decision. I'm the man. I'm very alone. There's a, yes, Frank.
Also, regardless of how noble the woman will be, I think it will be prudent the man also.
You are not talking to only us. And please watch out for comments over there.
Which one is asking a question?
Okay.
Also, I said, regardless of how noble the woman might be, I think it will be prudent the man, together with the woman, analyzes her suggestions. Because looking at Sarah, you consider, or in scriptures, she is a noble woman. But looking at the suggestion she gave to Abraham in relation to having a child, we would not consider the decision as one from or a good choice. And so,
All the married man, Frank, it is true. What you are saying, yes. That is why you make the decision, and she doesn't make it for you. So yes, you must not take everything she says, hook, line, and sinker. You must consider what she says. But the point is, a wife can be a good source of information when it comes to making decisions. Yes, yes.
Christian is asking a question. He's saying, what is the fate of the guys who propose to ladies they meet for the first time without knowing their character? And the ladies that accept such proposals.
What is the fate?
No, not fate. Fate.
Fate. F-A-T-E.
Yes. And the ladies that accept such proposals.
Well, these what is the fate? Well, the fate is as usual, as you see on television or there. Yes. Guys, and you see, don't build your life based on the things you see on TV. The idea of love at first sight. Yeah, you see, TV, all they sell is fantasy. They don't sell reality. So be very careful. I'm not saying that you will see somebody and you get a cake. It's possible. But, huh? I'll say that. Not kickback, no. Well, you know, when the kick is reciprocal, there might be a kick, but you see, that is an emotional expression. That is why God did not only give us a heart, He gave us a brain. So analyze those emotions and make decisions. So that's about it. So a wife that is able to create a Christian home must have a noble character, so as to be able to develop the standard of morality and character in the home. Because the home is a reflection of both the man and the woman. And if the woman is considered the one who nurtures, then it is more a reflection of the woman's character than the man's whatever. Yes.
Are there any disparities between character and behavior?
Yes. Your behaviors expresses your character. You get it? Behavior is character in motion. Am I making sense to you? So, if you see somebody always behavior, fighting, that means there is a contentious character within that person. So, what you see as this behavior is not it is not just coming out. It is an expression of something that is within the person. So, character, behavior gives expression to our character and our attitude. You get it? All right. So, let's go. I didn't know why I didn't. Let's go to verse 11.
Verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value.
Say that again.
Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value.
Her husband
has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value.
and lacks nothing of value. The NASB says, the heart of her husband trusts in her. You see, and I'm saying that the wife that is able to create the Christian home must be a trusted manager of the domestic economy. You see, the husband must be able to leave things in her care concerning the running of the home without having any second thoughts. Her ability to put things right, her ability to take care of things in the home, in the family, gives the husband a lot of confidence. And so he's able to repose that trust in her. Like Joseph in Potiphar's house. Potiphar would not have to concern himself with anything in the home just because there is the wife. And so you ask yourself, how are you able to manage situations, manage money, manage food, manage people, manage yourself, manage a husband? Because essentially, the home is the forte of the wife. And she must have the capacity to manage that economy. You know, the thing we call economy begins from the home, right? You guys know economics. I don't. But I know that there is the home economy, which consists of different sectors, right? And it is the wife who is the chief executive officer in the home. You would build a house, have a kitchen, have a hall, but the person that is able to make it over and make it livable and lovable and restful is the who? Is the who? The wife. So as you sit now, to what extent are you able to acquire those skills and those capacities? You may dress well and sit in the home, but that has not changed anything. And he says, the last B, he says, not only does the heart of the husband trust her, but he says, and he will have no lack of gain. What is gain in business? You call it profit, right? So with the wife in the home, the husband does not struggle to make gains. Remember what chapter 12 verse 4, right? You see, a certain kind of wife is able to manage meager resources to the extent that there is a family savings. The family is able to save. And so the husband may not have enough, may not have everything, but because of the dexterity of the wife, the wisdom of the wife, they are able to always appear okay, fine. Because give the wife a little, she'll make a lot out of it. Give her a seed, and you get a lot of fruits. Give her a small capital, and you see what she would make out of it. Say again. In Wallace's wife, if somebody is listening, he's saying she's able to change yesterday's banku into today's dollar. Yes, from banku to dollar. It can only happen in Wallace. So if somebody is listening, be careful. He's expecting to change banku to dollar. And you must be able to walk on water. That's just my advice. So, my dear ladies and my dear gentlemen, again, this must definitely shape how you look at your potential spouse. And you lack no gain, no profit. What makes a difference in a man's life is the kind of woman in the home. Any question after this point? Let's go to verse 12.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life.
She brings him good, not harm, all the days of his life. I don't know what her life. So this is the kind of wife that is able to create the Christian home. He brings him good. She promotes the interest of her husband, regardless of the time, the place, the season. When he has enough to give, she promotes the husband's interest. When he is in a crisis situation, he's unable to provide enough, she promotes her interest. When the husband's life strength is winning, she promotes her interest. His interest, I should say. You see, whenever the man begins begins to tell the story of his wife, not life. Yes, the story of your wife becomes the story of your life. This story is filled with sheer goodness. The wife in the Christian home is not a vindictive individual, selfish individual. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we must look at this text in the context of our time. In that situation, husband and wife did not get married to compete, but to complement. So the husband's success is the wife's glory. But in this generation of equality, which may not be a bad thing, be careful how this would happen in your marital home. I'm only pointing out pitfalls, given the time within which we live. Are you able to do anybody any good for the entire duration of his life? Do you have the capacity for altruism? Think about it. You may have vast and whatever, but these are requirements that you cannot get in the shop. Not even one place go. Any question? Yes. Why is that only men are asking the question? The person here, you have asked one.
When you look at this, it says,